And we're recording. So welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me this Valentine's Day for Gratitude for Valentine's Day. I know that for a lot of people, Valentine's Day is not necessarily their favorite holiday because there's a lot of judgments and expectations and things that go along with a traditional Valentine's Day. But the nice thing is that you don't necessarily have to participate in all of that stuff if you don't want to. And that's what we're going to talk about today is letting go of the expectations that you have to do everything that everybody thinks is the proper way to celebrate Valentine's Day. So it's about having more gratitude for you, allowing yourself to do the things that actually are enjoyable for you, that make your life more fun, that make your relationships more fun. Because it's the thing with a lot of holidays, especially here in the United States, is that it's a lot of crazy that we buy into. Oh, Yoli, those the hearts are lovely, Yoli. For those of you who don't have video, Yoli has her headband on with the springy hearts. Oh, and Renata has red shoes. There you go. See, I didn't do that. I do things like for Halloween, I do bats so I can have bats in my belfry, you know, that sort of thing. But yes, they're all very lovely. And I didn't do that today. Gee, I thought about it. I do, you know, I have other things like I have my unicorn. Oops, where is the camera? There we go. Unicorn. I have my dragon. So Legend is here, putting in an appearance as I said she would. And then Trixie is here today. Trixie is my little leopard. So they're here today participating as well. So before we get started, is there anything anybody would like to ask or have me address before we get started with the program? Okay, cool. I'm going to go ahead and do a share screen then. Come on. There we go, share screen. So here we are with Gratitude for Valentine's Day. And really it's about having gratitude for you on Valentine's Day and having the kind of Valentine's Day that actually contributes to you, that makes it more enjoyable for you. So, you know, do you love Valentine's Day? You like to participate in all of the traditions and you just look forward to it every year and it's one of your favorite holidays? Or do you hate it? And if you can't see the picture very well, she has a knife and she's stabbing the Valentine. So which one is it that really works for you? Because a lot of times what people have from Valentine's Day is a lot of judgments. It's judging you, what you should be doing, you shouldn't be doing, the relationships you should have, the relationships you shouldn't have, the relationships you don't have, you know, and all of the choices that you've made. A lot of people have these expectations of what all of your life should be and what your relationship should be and how that should all show up. And so that's really, you know, a lot of weight on you as to what your life is supposed to be looking like. So you tend to have, you know, which relationship do you need? Do you need to have a relationship? A lot of people think you do, that you're not complete unless you have a significant other in your life. And is that really true? Do you require that? People tell you it's time to get out of that relationship that you have. It's not serving you. They have decided what it is and what it should look like, and that it doesn't fit the way they think your relationship should be, that you're in it with the wrong person, that person isn't good for you. They're not right for you, or they're not right for the person who's judging it, certainly. And that it's just not good enough. Your relationships aren't good enough for you. They aren't what you're supposed to have. And maybe that's true and maybe it's not. But again, it's all those judgments that people direct at you about what your relationships are and what they should be. And mostly, of course, what they're doing is they're judging based on what they've done, because that's a lot of the times where judgments come. The people are actually judging themselves first and then projecting those judgments on you. So they're judging what their relationships have been, what their relationships should be, what their relationships haven't been for them, and then they project that on you, and the only person they think they can change is you. They don't want to change themselves because they're perfect, obviously. So that's a lot of times what happens is they're creating all those judgments and sending them on to you. And then they have judgments of the traditions that we're supposed to have. So the traditions of the gifts that you have to give or that you haven't given. A lot of times it's the gifts that you didn't get or you didn't give that are the ones that are most harshly judged. Of the plans that you made or that you didn't make. Did you decide to take your significant other out? Did your significant other decide to take you out? Is it to the right kind of place? Is it fancy enough? Is it too fancy? Does it serve the type of relationship that you have? How much of that craziness comes from other people on what you should and shouldn't be doing? And of all those other traditions, I know that when I was in grade school, I don't know if they still do this, but we used to have to give Valentines for everyone. So it was all about what type of Valentine you should give to everyone. Did you give the same Valentine to everyone? Did you give better Valentines to the people who were the people that you wanted to make an impression on, the people you wanted to have, to join their clique? Or did you give, the lesser Valentines to the people that you didn't like? You didn't want them to mistake that you liked them, because then that would mean that you weren't necessarily associating with the people that you should be associating with, and therefore you were wrong. I don't know how often I would sit there with all my Valentines spread in front of me and the names of everybody, because I had to give everyone one, and choosing the appropriate Valentine for each person. I didn't want to give one that was too fancy and make them think I liked them more than what I did. I didn't want to give one that wasn't good enough, because then they would think that I was too cheap, or that I didn't like them, or that I was showing favoritism, and all sorts of these crazy things went through my head as I was trying to decide who should get what Valentine. And then, of course, you had to go take them all to school, and you had to put them all in the proper boxes or proper bags or whatever it was that you had for that year. And then when people would start opening them and seeing what they got, then it was, oh, did they like the one that I have? Did I do it right? It was all about how much of it was wrong or how much of it was right. And those traditions carry over into all sorts of other places too. All the cards that people expect you to give them or not give them, and the gifts they expect you to give them or not give them, and the gifts you expect to receive and the cards you expect to receive, and all of that craziness. All of those expectations that people heap upon Valentine's Day. How much of that is really fun? So much of it just isn't fun if you're buying into all the crazy.
Yeah.
So when you have these gifts and plans, the tradition is that they have to be done. You have to give the gifts to the people that you care about. You have to get the appropriate type of gift. You have to have the flowers and the candy and the jewelry and the roses and all of those other things. You have to go to the right restaurant. You have to go to have the proper food. You have to dress properly. And is it ever enough? Do you always expect more? I don't know if any of you have ever seen the commercial. It's for some department store. It's called the Doghouse. And they have a special kind of hell for people, for men mostly, who don't give the proper gifts. And so the men end up in this special hell because they didn't give jewelry, or they didn't give something that the woman wanted, flowers or candy or whatever. They gave them something that was more practical. So they each have to come up and be judged, and they're explaining why they gave what they gave, and that they're normally getting the uh, you don't get to leave here stamp. And they have to stay until they realize the error of their ways. So how much of that goes along with the Valentine's Day that you have experienced in your life? That you believe that people have to have given you the proper gifts. And if they didn't give you the proper gifts, then they were wrong. And maybe they didn't deserve whatever it was you thought you should be giving them or doing with them, or again, just all that craziness, because it's just never enough. It just keeps getting crazier every year. And is it really creating what you would like to have for your life? Do all of those traditions and all of those expectations really serve you at all? So where are you in all of that? When you're looking at the proper Valentine's Day, where are you? Does all of that proper Valentine's apparel, proper celebrating, proper gift giving, all of that, does it really make you happy, or does it make you unhappy? So much of it, I know, used to make me unhappy. Do I really have to go out and do all these cards? Do I have to buy flowers for everyone? Do I have to get gifts for everybody? Do I have to send cards? Do I have to get dressed up and go out? Do I have to force myself to do things that I don't really want to do? And does it make you feel unworthy? So much judgment is passed on you if you don't have a significant other who's going to take you out and do all of these things for you. There were lots of years when I didn't. And if you go someplace on Valentine's Day and you don't have a significant other with you, a lot of times people look at you funny, like there's something wrong with you, and why don't you have somebody who's bringing you, that you're just there with a bunch of friends or something? And is that what you would like? Wouldn't you rather be having a good time? Wouldn't you rather be ignoring what they care, what they're saying, and how they're looking at you? And sometimes with some of my friends, and Maria, I think you were one of them, we would do things to get attention for people who were looking at us funny because we were out by ourselves. So sometimes it's just letting go of how significant and how important you're making everybody else's view of what you should be doing.
Girl, this stuff I was destroyed. Just created.
So when you start looking at all of that Valentine's Day stuff, do you actually require any of it? Does it make you happy? Is it something that you would really like your Valentine celebration to be? Is it the stuff that you're desiring to have? Is it actually making you happy? Are you looking at it to be happy that day, or are you looking at it as something that you have to be doing or that you have to be avoiding so that you can't do anything because it's Valentine's Day and you don't want people to be judging you? So maybe for Valentine's Day redone, it's time to start valuing you.
Mm-hmm.
Start looking at what it is that actually makes you happy. What brings you happiness? Does all of that stuff with buying things and expecting people to buy you things and going places and all that, does any of that bring you happiness? If it does, great. I'm not saying that it shouldn't. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have those things that make you happy, but the things that don't make you happy, that you're doing out of obligation, that you're doing to keep people from judging you, do you really want to continue doing those things? What
Mm-mm.
choices would you like to be making? What's preventing you from making those choices now? Because you always have choice. You have choice in how you're showing up and how you're behaving and how you're working with what other people are giving you. Are those the choices you would like to be making? How would you like to be spending your day? Would you like to be going out? Would you like to be having a restaurant and flowers and candy? Or would you like to be staying at home soaking in the bathtub and, having Epsom salts and a glass of wine and some candles? Look at how you would really like to be spending your day and what's keeping you from spending your day like that. How would you like to create your day? What type of a day would you like to be having? Like, for instance, this morning for Valentine's Day, I went to breakfast with a friend of mine and we watched the dolphins at the port. Okay, is that a traditional Valentine's Day thing? No. But we had a good time watching the dolphins playing and watching the pelicans diving in and out of the water and that sort of thing. So how would you really like to be spending your day? And again, do it. Find, if you don't want to spend it alone, find someone who would like to do it with you. Some friend you would like to be spending it with, or your significant other, and start spending your day the way you would like to be spending it.
Yep.
And it's time to start having gratitude for you, for the way you are, for your life and what you have in your life and the way you've created your life. And all of the things that you've been able to accomplish, all of the capabilities that you have and the capacities that you have, and all of the, just the fact that you got to where you are. Because you had to do a lot to get to where you are now.
Where you are.
And be grateful for that, that you were able to do that, that you have been able to create the things that you have in your life, the friendships that you have, the place that you have to live, the job that you have, whether you have the things that you would like to have in your home, all of those things that you've created, your education, your your hobbies, all of those things you've created. Have gratitude for that. Gratitude is an amazing force. Gratitude has a power. When you start shifting into gratitude and shifting out of things like victimhood and complaining and being grouchy and grumpy, that power of the gratitude starts to shift all of those things around and it ripples out. It's amazing what changes you'll see when you shift your focus to start having the gratitude for the things that you have in your life, telling the universe that this is what I enjoy in my life. This is what I'm grateful for. These are the lessons that I'm grateful for, and the people I'm grateful for, and the things that I'm grateful for, and the events that I'm grateful for. Thank you for giving me these, for allowing these things to show up for me, and asking for more of that. Now, that doesn't mean that that's all that you want, that you can't ask for other things, because certainly you can. You can ask for, thank you for this, and I would like to have this. Thank you for what I have, and now I would like to have this as well. It doesn't mean that it's wrong. I mean, it's kind of like when you go to the restaurant and you have your main course and you say, thank you for the main course, and I'll have a dessert. Or you say, thank you for the salad, and I'll have a main course. Or, and I'll have another glass of tea. All of those things are not saying that you can't ask for more. A lot of people think that if they're satisfied with what they have and if they're grateful for what they have, then they are saying they don't want more, but that's not true. You can still ask for more. There's always an and that you can put in your life. And the first step for having gratitude for everything, as I've said, is to have gratitude for you. Because if you can't have gratitude for you, then you can't have it for anyone else. You can't have it for other things because you're always going to be dissatisfied with you. So there's never going to be anything that you're actually grateful for beyond that. Nothing else is going to measure up until you start realizing the part that you're playing in your life and what that looks like. I'm getting an echo from somebody. So I'm going to have us do a gratitude exercise. I'll explain it first and then we'll do it. So what this exercise is the next time that you're caught up in these things that you're not happy with, when you're grumpy and grouchy and not wanting to participate, just stop it. Literally, just stop doing what you're doing. Stop complaining, stop being angry, stop fretting about it. Just stop and think of something that you're grateful for. If you can think of something that you're grateful for in this situation, that's even better. Because a lot of times what we can do is look at, what is this thing contributing to my life? What is it that it's actually creating?
Hi,
What
honey.
lesson,
Hello.
oops,
How are you? Good.
what lesson is it that I'm learning from this? What is it that it's bringing me? And have gratitude for that. And if you can't do that, then think of something else that you're grateful for. Someone that you're grateful for, some event that you're grateful for, just something that you have gratitude for. And then spend a minute or two really feeling that gratitude, really getting into it, getting the sense of it so that you can really connect to it. And most of the time, oops, your mood will shift because that energy has shifted to the thing that you're grateful for and away from that thing that you were complaining about, that thing that was making you unhappy, that thing that was bringing your energy in and contracting you and making you just so focused on the unhappiness, because now you've shifted over to the gratitude, and the gratitude energy has more of an expansiveness. It has that joy to it that you weren't allowing yourself to have before that. So I'm going to ask us to practice that. So I would like you to get the sense of something that you're not grateful for right now. I mean, you can go ahead and close your eyes if that helps and take a couple of deep breaths. But get the sense of something that you're not grateful for right now, or someone that you're not grateful for. And now look at that situation or that person or whatever it is and see if there's something in it that you can be grateful for. Is there a lesson that it's bringing you? Is there an aspect of it that is going to contribute to your life maybe later, or that contributes to something else that maybe you're not thinking about? For instance, my microwave died over the weekend, and as I'm looking at it, my gratitude for that is, one, I get a new microwave because this one's 15 years old, and two, when it died and started turning itself on all by itself, we were at least in the room so that we could unplug it right away and nothing got damaged. So those are two aspects of it. Oh, and three, when we went to buy a new one, I got to go out to dinner. So you can look at that thing that you may not be grateful for and look at the aspects of it. What is it? What aspects of it can you be grateful for? What aspects of it actually are creating something in your life or having an impact on some other area of your life that will be a contribution? Now really get the sense of that gratitude for that thing, for that aspect of it. Really focus on that gratitude. Connect energetically to the thing or the aspect of it that you have the gratitude for. Just connect out to that. Get a real sense of it. Really sink into it. Really connect to it. And let that energy of gratitude be shifting how you were looking at the whole situation. Feel that energy start to shift. Get that sense of there's more, there's another possibility here. there's more that I can do with this. There's more that is here than I was just looking at before. Really get that energy. And then get back to what it was you started with. And see the difference now in how you're looking at that. See the difference in how that shows up now in your life. Because chances are it's completely different now. And that's the power of gratitude. So when you're having gratitude for you, that's what you can create. When you're having gratitude for other people, that's what you can create. That's how you can start changing your life. Which energy would you rather have in your life? The first energy that you started out with, where you weren't grateful for it, or the last energy, where you had the gratitude and you connected to it and you let it spread? Which one would you rather have? I know that when I've done this exercise for myself, it has been amazing how much difference there was from the first energy to the second energy, and how much that changed my day. Even just sitting down and writing in my gratitude journal in the morning the things that I'm grateful for in the morning, and I usually do at least 3 things, that really shifts my day in the morning. So that's why I like to do it first thing, so that I can set the tone for my day. And that's what I suggest for you to do. Set the tone for your day like that. Because if you're not looking forward to getting up in the morning, then something needs to change. Something needs to shift. Now, yes, do I sometimes have mornings that I don't want to get up? Sure. And that's when I sit down and do my exercises, my gratitude exercises, so that I can change how that's looking for me in the morning, how my day is starting out. Because I prefer to not spend my day in the grouchy, I don't want to be here energy. So, when you start looking at redoing your outlook on Valentine's Day and on your life, start looking, who did you actually show up for today? When you got up this morning, did you show up for yourself? Did you show up to this call for yourself? Did you show up at your job for yourself? Did you do it because that was what you would like to be doing? Did you show up for someone else, to be there for them? Or did you show up because they were expecting you to be there and they were insisting that you be there? And that's okay, but you want to look at how you're viewing that type of situation. Did you show up because you had a sense of obligation? Or was it something else? And I'm not saying that any of these are right or wrong, but when you're showing up for not for you, then you may have to do gratitude to get through showing up because you have an obligation to be there or for someone else. And that'll shift that energy. Start having that gratitude for that so that you can be there for yourself. Because that's really what you want to do, is to be there so that you're enjoying your life. So when you're looking at redoing Valentine's Day, are you willing to stop making the expectations of everybody else more important than yours? So when you're trying to live up to everybody's expectations of Valentine's Day and trying to make your relationships live up to their expectations and trying to make your gifts and everything else live up to their expectations, maybe you could let that go. Stop making their expectations more important than what you would like to have. Start letting go of those. There's a tool that I usually tell people that's called Return to Sender. And what you do is you take that feeling that you have to live up to everybody's expectations and return their expectations to them. So you can say all of the expectations that everybody has of me for Valentine's Day, I return it to sender with consciousness attached. And let it go. Because what you're doing is you're clearing out all of that energy that they have put on you, all of those expectations and projections and all of those rules and obligations that they put on you that aren't really yours. You're clearing that out so that you're not trying to carry those around. You're not trying to fulfill those for everybody when they're not yours. So it's a huge tool to have. Return to sender with consciousness attached. And you can do it with anything that shows up that isn't really yours. Are you ready to let go of the traditional Valentine's Day? Maybe you are and maybe you're not. And again, that's okay. But how about letting go of the parts that really don't make you happy? The parts that are the crazy parts for you, that are just giving you more stress and unhappiness rather than making it enjoyable for you. I mean, I'm all for chocolate hearts and you know, roses and that sort of thing, but is that really what you would like to have? And is it your requirement for the day? Or is it something you'd rather let go of so that you don't have all of that stress and all of those expectations of it? And are you willing to start asking what you'd really like to do? How you'd like to be spending the day? What you'd like it to look like? What you would like your life to look like? So beyond Valentine's Day, what would you like your life to look like? And start actually allowing yourself to have that. And are you willing to start showing up just for you? So that you can show up and the only person that you have to make happy is you, instead of trying to make everybody else happy. Because when you're trying to make everybody else happy, what's that saying? You don't make anybody happy. So just be showing up for you. Make yourself happy. Value your choices. Value what you desire to have your life be. And be grateful for you. So, when we're talking about changing all of this, letting go of Valentine's Day traditions is going to require changing, especially if you really hate Valentine's Day. And some people do. They really dread it every year. It's going to require some changes to let go of that, to start letting yourself, if not enjoy it, at least not be unhappy. And being grateful and showing gratitude is also going to require you to make some changes because we're not used to it. We're so used to the gratitude not being internal. We're so used to it being external. You thank people for this and you thank people for that, and it's not necessarily even something that you feel that you would like to do. It's just that's what you were taught as a little kid, that you had to say thank you for everything, whether you actually were grateful for it or not. So actually feeling the gratitude for it and having that sense of gratitude within you, that's going to require you to actually pay some attention to it. And are you ready to do what it takes to make those changes? Because sometimes people aren't. They don't want to change what's going on in their lives. They're happy with what it is. They're afraid if they change too much, they won't like their life anymore, and it'll require work. And that's okay. But if you would like to have a different life show up, then you're going to have to make some changes. Are you ready to stop making the expectations of everybody else more important than yours? Because we're so used to that everybody else comes first, and that makes us come second, third, fourth, 10th, 157th, whatever it is, you're usually last. So are you ready to stop making what everybody else wants and expects more important than what you would like to have? Again, are you ready to let go of all of those traditions that don't work for you? Keep the ones that you like, keep the ones that you find enjoyable, but the ones that you don't, is it time to let them go? And start asking what you'd really like to have your life be. Value you. Value your choices. Value your desires. Be grateful for you. And start being grateful for everything in your life. Because that's what really shifts your life. So, are you ready to start doing that? And to take the next level of doing that? And to keep your gratitude momentum going and move on. Keep moving forward. So that's going to involve having even more gratitude and expressing more gratitude and really getting into it. And committing to you to start making those changes that you would like to have. Committing to your life. Committing to you. So I have a program that starts next week called Gratitude for Life. It's a 21-day challenge. And we're going to be diving into gratitude and how it really affects your life and the power of it, and how you can really start using it to change the way your life is showing up. And appreciating what you have and appreciating what the things in your life have brought you. The things that you don't think about that actually do contribute to your life, the events in your life that you may not have thought were a contribution, but how they actually turned out to shape your life and how they actually turned out maybe to move you forward. Because I look at things like my divorce and I realize that had I not gotten divorced from my first husband, I wouldn't be doing this now. He would have never supported that. But my new husband does. My current husband supports the things that I do. He doesn't always necessarily go along with all of it and do all of it, but he supports me in doing it and in finding out what it is that would make me happy. So we're going to look in the program at speaking your joys, not your problems, to stop focusing on all of the difficulties in your life and stop waking up in the morning and having the first thing be on your mind be, oh my God, my back hurts, my knee hurts, I've got this to do, I didn't get that done. Start looking at the things that, what do you get a chance to do in the morning? What is it you're going to have the opportunity to do today? My husband doesn't always go along with this. I'll get up in the morning and I'm maybe dancing with one of the cats or whatever, and he'll say, "How can you be so cheerful? It's still more, it's so early." And I said, "Well, that's how I would like to start my day. I don't want to start my day dreading the day. I want to start my day looking forward to the things that I get to do." And sometimes I get him to dance with me and the cats, but not always, But it's fun to try. So we're going to look at being thankful for all the big things and the little things. I mean, it's the little joys that make you happy, the things that make you smile, listening to a song that you like to have, having people tell you jokes, watching something silly on TV, going through pictures, all of those things that actually make you happy and make you smile, those contribute to your life because they change the energy of your life. They change the energy of your outlook. And seeing what your obstacles teach you, seeing what the things that maybe were the harder lessons in life really taught you and what they changed in your life, and being grateful for that. So the program shifts your focus and moves you toward that life that you would love to be living. It's a group virtual program, weekly calls, daily activities. So I'll be sending you activities every day to help you focus on the gratitude, help you focus on the things that you really appreciate and are thankful for. So the investment for this is normally $297, but if you sign up before February 19th, it's $197. And you'll also receive the recording of today because you were on the Zoom. So in order to expand your life through gratitude, you can sign up at iampurpledawn.com/gratitude-21-day-challenge and get started. We'll get started on Wednesday of next week. And also, if you'd like to buy my book, Gratitude for Life Journal, that walks you through a year of daily gratitude and contemplative questions, you can go to iampurpledawn.com/gratitude and get a copy. It's on Amazon. So now is the time to have gratitude for you, to have gratitude for your life, to have gratitude for all those people in your life. So are there any questions? I believe everyone has gotten muted. So if you have a question, you need to unmute yourself. Anybody? Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate that all of
Hi.
you. Oh, I hear a hi.
Hi, sorry. Yeah. Um, so I'm Krista,
Hi, Krista.
and thanks so much for this little this webinar here. I think it's really helpful. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I think it's really helpful to get the to sort of refocus on the things that I'm grateful for within the things that I'm not grateful for. Of course,
Mhm.
that does sort of create a little war in your head. Well, I'm grateful for this. No, I hate this. Well, I'm grateful for that. Well, I hate that. Well, I'm grateful for that.
Ah,
So I'm curious what you'd say to that sort of just, I guess, sort of acknowledging the mixed emotions that you can increase the gratitude. It doesn't necessarily eliminate the other stuff.
it starts to shift your focus though.
Yes, that's true.
So it and once you start to shift your focus, you'll notice that you don't have as much of that war going on. And when you're having a war going on, ask yourself what is it that you're finding valuable about the part of it that you're not liking and hanging on to that. What is that actually creating for you? What is it that you're getting out of that you think is valuable for some reason so that you would hang on to it and make yourself unhappy?
Oh,
And that's where I usually start with that. Is it okay, so that really valuable then once I get that piece about why I'm hanging on to that,
mhm.
and then I start working on that. Okay, so when I'm hanging on to that, what is that actually creating in my life? Is that what I would like to have in my life? So
Or does it signify something I
yeah,
want?
is it something else then that's really creating that? Because a lot of times it's something else that's creating that you're hanging on to this for some other reason. Sometimes people will hang on to things because they think they have to punish themselves, or they're hanging on to this because there's a payback for them for some reason. For instance, people will hang on to things that um, make them, well, it ultimately results in them being sick. And the reason they hang on to that is because what it's creating for them is that everybody pays attention to them. They show up for them, they do things for them, and if they got well, people would stop doing that. So they hang on to that, and they hang on to the things that are creating that in their lives. And I've had people argue that with me a lot, but I know that there have been times when I have made myself sick because I didn't want to do something. So my payback was that I didn't have to go. And so then I start looking at that as to, well, if I didn't really want to go, what was the point in me saying I would? And I start going down that lane. What is it about that that isn't really what I would like to be doing? And how could I shift that and change it so that it would be more enjoyable and that I would stop
Mhm.
punishing myself
Or I
for
guess the
doing
other
it?
way, why did I sign up for this? If there's a reason I signed up, even though my mood changed, going back to the reason I signed up.
Right. Go back and look at it. Okay, I signed up because I thought it would do this. Now, is it not doing that? Okay, that's a valid thing. It's not creating what I was hoping it would create. What is it creating? And if it's not creating this, is it something that maybe I want to return it, get my money back, say I'm not going to do it? Talk to the people that are doing the program and say, hey, this isn't creating what you said it would. What's going on here? Because I've been to programs where they did not deliver what they said they were going to deliver. So if
Yeah.
it's not, then go talk to them and say, hey, this isn't delivering what you said it was going to deliver. What's up?
Right. How can we fix that?
How can we fix this? Maybe there's something else they'll give you. I've done that and they've given me, something else to supplement it and that sort of thing. So start looking at that. And then if you've still got the war going on, again, ask that the other half of it, what's creating that? Why do I want to have that? And why am I allowing that to dominate and to keep arguing with the part of it that I am grateful for?
Also, are you looking at the chat screen? Because people were posting questions. Someone posted a question about whether gratitude is more important.
I was finally able, because I couldn't see the chat while I had the screen up.
Oh yes, I've had that problem
it
too.
shut it
That's why I
off.
asked you.
So it says,
Because I've done webinars too.
when I think in something and wants to have together with gratitude, it got disappeared. I already did it. I did it different today, more from me to me. So that question where you're thinking of something and you wanted to have the gratitude, did the gratitude disappear or the thing that you weren't happy with disappeared? So since you said yes, I'm assuming that you were able to let go of the thing that was originally making you unhappy, and that's cool. That is really great. And that's what we're looking at. Hi, Mary.
How are you? When you
Good.
ask about something that we are not grateful for, I was bringing different subjects to my body, to my head, and when I thinking the two things together, like I was disappointed for this specific, and when I say I'm not grateful for that, at that moment when I mentioned the grateful word, the disappointing moment or whatever happened in the past disappeared. It is not anymore. I couldn't put together. I'm not grateful for something. As soon as the grateful word was there, there's nothing. I couldn't find anything to not be grateful for.
Cool. And that is the power of gratitude. It shifted that energy for you. So congratulations.
Thank you. I received that when you asked to do the exercise. I was thinking, what happened? There is nothing. I couldn't. It was awesome. I love it.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so glad it worked for you. It's the meaning of, is true gratitude important? Is it the meaning of love too? When you have gratitude for things, you have that gratefulness for it, the caring for it, and you can have the love for it. Now, can you have love without gratitude? I don't know. Can you? For me, I believe you have to have the gratitude for the person that you're with, the things that you'd love, because it allows them to be them and allows them to show up to be something greater. It allows them to be everything that they can be because you're supporting them energetically and emotionally and physically. And I believe that's a very important component to love. And Charlie, you're great. Thank you for saying that you're enjoying the signed book. You're welcome. And I know a number of you, I don't know if everybody on the call here has the book, but a number of people have gotten the book and I've actually signed it for them. And it's hard to sign the Kindles, but you know. But anyway, so any other questions then or any other observations on anything from anybody today? Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining me. I really appreciate it. I'll send you the link so that you can watch it again. And I have so much gratitude for you being here today and for being a part of my life. So have a great Valentine's Day. Bye-bye.